James had been seeing a woman he really liked for a few weeks. The chemistry was strong, the dates were fun, and he felt like things were finally moving in the right direction. One night, they're out having dinner, laughing, connecting, when she suddenly leans back and says with a playful smirk, "So, do you always spend this much money on women you barely know?" Now pause. Most men hear a line like that and instantly feel the pressure. And James was no different. His heart started racing. He worried she might think he was trying too hard or worse, that she saw him as desperate. So what did he do? He over-explained. He laughed nervously, waved his hands and said, "Oh no, it's nothing, really. I mean, I just wanted to treat you. I can totally afford it. It's not a big deal, I promise." In his mind, he thought he was reassuring her. In reality, he had just failed a test he didn't even know he was taking. Because here's the shocking truth: women test men constantly, not to be cruel, not to manipulate, and most of the time, not even consciously. It's instinct, it's psychology, it's hardwired. When James rushed to defend himself, when he scrambled for her approval, what he really showed wasn't generosity, it was weakness. And weakness, no matter how small, always changes the way she feels. Here's the part almost no man is ever taught. These tests aren't about the words you say. They're about what your reaction reveals. Do you stay calm? Do you hold your ground? Do you show quiet confidence? Or do you crumble, explain, defend, and prove yourself? James didn't know it, but in that moment, he sent a silent signal. Your opinion of me matters more than my opinion of myself. And just like that, the attraction that had been building between them started to fade. This is why so many men struggle in relationships. They think they're being kind, they think they're being attentive, but when a woman subconsciously tests them, they collapse. And here's the uncomfortable truth: most men fail these tests, but you won't. Because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what these secret tests are, why women give them, and how you can pass every single one without arrogance, without games, and without ever losing yourself. Now let's answer the question that every man secretly asks: why do women even test in the first place? To most guys, it feels unfair. You're out on a date, you're trying to connect, and suddenly she throws in a comment that feels like a curveball. You wonder, why can't she just take me at face value? Why does she need to push? Here's the truth: women don't test because they enjoy making men squirm. They test because they're wired to. Think back thousands of years. Long before smartphones, cities, and restaurants, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on choosing a man who was reliable, strong, and unshakable under pressure. If he folded the second life got hard. If he cracked at the smallest challenge, he wasn't safe. He couldn't protect. He couldn't lead. So how did women figure out who was truly strong and who was faking it? They tested. They pushed. They challenged. And the men who stayed calm, who stood tall, who didn't flinch, those were the men who earned trust and respect. Fast forward to today, and life is obviously different. But here's what hasn't changed: her subconscious programming. It's still running on the same ancient software. So, when she makes a teasing comment, when she cancels plans last minute, when she suddenly pulls back her attention, it's not random. It's not meaningless. On a subconscious level, it's her way of asking, can this man handle me? Can I trust him when life gets difficult? Is he as strong as he appears? Here's where most men go wrong. They see these moments as attacks, as games, as something unfair. But the truth is, these tests aren't meant to tear you down. They're meant to reveal who you really are when the pressure is on. Because any man can look confident when everything is going his way. But when she throws you off balance, even in a small way, your reaction tells her the truth. So remember this: a test isn't about her being cruel. It's about her being human. It's instinct. And once you understand that, once you stop taking it personally, you can approach these moments with calm, strength, and even appreciation. Because now you know what's really happening. She's not trying to trip you up. She's giving you the chance to prove what kind of man you are. Now that you know why women test, let's talk about the tests themselves, because here's the truth. If you've ever dated, you've already been tested. You probably just didn't realize it at the time. Let me give you a few of the most common ones. 1. The comparison test. She mentions another guy, maybe an ex, maybe a coworker, maybe just a celebrity. She says something like, "He's actually really funny," or "My ex used to take me to places like this." This isn't about the other guy. It's about you. Do you get insecure? Do you get defensive? Or do you stay calm? Maybe even smile because you know your value doesn't depend on anyone else? 2. The availability test. She cancels on you last minute. Or she asks if you can drop everything to see her right away. Most men panic. They say yes, rearrange their lives, and end up looking desperate. The high-value man? He keeps his plans. He doesn't punish her. He doesn't argue. He just calmly shows that his time is valuable. 3. The attitude test. She's a little distant, maybe colder than usual. It feels like she's pulling away. Most guys react by chasing harder, texting more, begging for attention. That always backfires. Why? Because it shows neediness. The man who passes simply mirrors her energy, calm, patient, steady, and lets her come back on her own. 4. The boundary test. She asks for something small, then something bigger, then something unreasonable. Maybe she wants you to cancel your plans. Maybe she tries to push you into doing something you're not comfortable with. Every yes you give against your own will chips away at her respect. Passing this test is simple. You say no when no is the right answer. 5. The teasing test. She playfully pokes at you, maybe makes a joke at your expense. Do you get angry? Do you sulk? Or do you smile, laugh, and throw back something lighthearted? Confidence is playful. Insecurity is defensive. Here's the point. None of these tests are random. They're mirrors. They don't reveal who she is. They reveal who you are. Most men fail because they don't even realize the test is happening. But now you do. And knowing is half the battle. Now that you've seen the most common secret tests, let's face the uncomfortable truth. Most men fail them. And the reason isn't because they're bad guys or because women are out to get them. It's because no one ever taught men what's really happening. Here's what usually goes wrong. When a woman throws out a challenge, most men interpret it as an attack. Their ego gets triggered. They feel accused, doubted, or rejected. And what do? They scramble to fix it. They start over-explaining. They try to prove themselves. They text too much, call too much, give too much, all in an effort to reassure her. But the irony is that reassurance is exactly what kills attraction. Why? Because the moment you start proving yourself, you've already admitted you don't believe in yourself. Think about it. True confidence doesn't defend itself. A man who knows his value doesn't need to explain it to anyone. He doesn't panic when tested. He doesn't collapse into a puddle of neediness. He stays calm, grounded, and unshaken. But most men never learn this. Instead, they were taught that the way to keep a woman happy is to always say yes, always be available, always show how much you care. And while kindness is important, the hidden problem is this. If your kindness comes from fear, it looks like weakness. And weakness never earns respect. So when a woman tests a man by teasing him, canceling plans, or questioning his choices, his reaction reveals the truth. If he laughs it off, keeps his frame, and doesn't overreact, she feels safe and attracted. But if he panics, explains, or gets defensive, she feels disappointment. Not because she's cruel, but because her instincts tell her, this man isn't as strong as I hoped. Here's the paradox. The harder you try to pass her test, the more you fail it. Because what she's really looking for isn't effort, it's presence, calm strength, unshakable confidence. That's why most men fail, not because they aren't good enough, but because they keep trying to prove they are. So now you know why most men fail. The big question is, how do you pass? Here's the first key. Stay calm under pressure. When she makes a teasing comment or throws a curveball question, don't flinch. Don't rush to explain. Don't scramble to prove yourself. Instead, breathe, smile. Let the silence sit for a second if you need to. Confidence is calm. Insecurity is frantic. Second, hold your boundaries. If she cancels last minute, don't drop everything to reschedule. If she pushes you to do something that doesn't feel right, don't say yes just to keep the peace. Boundaries aren't walls, they're fences. And fences protect what matters. Saying no doesn't make you rude, it makes you respected. Third, respond with strength, not defensiveness. If she pokes fun at you, laugh it off. If she questions your choices, own them without apology. Remember, you don't owe anyone a 5-paragraph essay to justify who you are. A calm, direct answer carries more weight than endless explanations. Here's a simple mindset shift. Don't see her test as a threat. See it as an opportunity. Because that's exactly what it is. Her subconscious way of asking, are you the man you claim to be? And when you respond with calm strength, you send the answer loud and clear. Yes, I am. Now, this doesn't mean you should become arrogant, dismissive, or cold. That's just another form of insecurity dressed up as confidence. Passing the test isn't about being a jerk. It's about being grounded. It's about showing that your kindness comes from abundance, not fear. And here's the beauty of it. Once you master this, you'll stop feeling anxious about these moments. Instead of dreading them, you'll welcome them. Because each test becomes another chance to show your strength, and each time you pass, her respect, attraction, and trust only grow stronger. So remember, stay calm, hold your boundaries, and respond with quiet confidence. That's how you pass every secret test. So what actually happens when you pass one of these secret tests? Something powerful shifts. The moment you stay calm, hold your boundary, or respond with quiet strength, she feels it. Not just in her mind, but deep in her instincts. And what she feels is safety. Think about it. A man who doesn't panic, who doesn't fold, who doesn't beg, he communicates something no words could ever say. You can trust me. I'm solid. I won't break under pressure. That single message changes everything. Attraction grows, respect deepens, and instead of pulling away, she leans in. Because now she sees you as rare. Most men fail. Most men collapse into defensiveness, over-explaining or chasing. But you stood firm, and that makes you unforgettable. Passing these tests doesn't just impact dating, it shapes every area of your life. Your friends respect you more. Your coworkers stop taking advantage. People see you as a leader, not a follower. Why? Because humans at every level are wired to respect strength. And remember, strength doesn't mean aggression. It doesn't mean being cold or harsh. True strength is calm, controlled, and steady. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are and doesn't need approval to prove it. Here's what women actually feel when you pass. Relief, because now she knows you're not just an act. Admiration, because calm confidence is magnetic. Desire, because strength, paired with kindness, is irresistible. And here's what happens inside of you. You stop fearing these tests. You stop worrying about every word, every text, every move. Instead, you start to enjoy the process, because each test becomes another chance to reinforce what's already true. You are grounded, You are confident. You are strong. That's why passing these tests isn't just about women. It's about you. It's about stepping into the kind of man who doesn't just attract respect and admiration, but naturally commands it. And once you experience this shift, you'll never see these moments the same way again. We've come full circle. We started with James, the man who over-explained, who scrambled for approval, who failed a test he didn't even realize he was taking. And we uncovered why that happens. Because women, consciously or not, are always looking for signs of strength, confidence, and self-respect. Here's the reality. Kindness alone isn't enough. Generosity alone isn't enough. Attraction, respect, and loyalty aren't earned by giving endlessly. They're earned by showing that your kindness is backed by strength. So here's the choice you face. You can keep walking the same path as most men. You can keep folding under pressure, over-explaining, chasing approval, and hoping that being nice enough will earn you what you want. But if you do, you'll keep failing these tests, and you'll keep watching respect slip away. Or you can choose differently. You can decide right now that your kindness will come from a place of abundance, not fear, that your boundaries aren't negotiable, that your calm strength is the foundation on which everything else stands. When you choose that second path, everything changes. People admire you, they respect you, they feel drawn to you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real, because you're strong, because you're the rare man who understands that kindness without strength is weakness, but kindness with strength is power. Think about the people you respect most: leaders, mentors, maybe close friends. Are they kind? Yes. But are they also strong? Absolutely. Their kindness isn't blind. It's intentional. It carries weight. That's the transformation I want for you. From this moment forward, every test you face isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity, a chance to show, not just to her, but to yourself, who you really are. So the next time you're tested, when she teases you, when she cancels, when she challenges you, don't panic. Don't explain. Don't chase. Stand tall, smile, hold your frame. Because in that moment, you're not just passing her test. You're proving to yourself that you've crossed the line from weakness into strength. And once you cross that line, you'll never look back.